Folks, we're back for the next episode of the Faction Wars Hard Push. So we're currently sitting at 250 stars, and today we have the Knights Revenant as well as the Dwarf Crypts open. So for Dwarves, we're looking stages 7 to 9, and for Knights Revenant, we're looking stages 4 to 6. So let's go ahead and hop in here. First, challenge stage 4 is manipulate skill cooldowns 10 plus times. This is going to be very simple, very easy. Bringing in Crixia, any sort of a reset champion or lockout champion is going to work very well for this. Obviously, if you have, refresh accessories, those are going to do it as well. Renegade is going to be like, champion number 1 if you don't have Crixia for this faction. So I think, honestly, we'll just go ahead and throw this on auto here because, it's a fairly easy challenge, all things considered. We have a lot of CC here. The only thing that would really benefit us is if we had, decreased defense so that we could really start smacking them a bit harder. But, it kind of is what it is. We have Eric's coming in, doing a lot of damage. We have Crixia locking everybody out. And then we have, obviously, the Embrace, who's going to be placing the Necrosis on the enemies when we kill them. So, while we auto through this, as always, there is going to be a Discord link down in the description below, of course, if you want to join and hop in and get a part of that. And then, of course, channel memberships are live, too, so go ahead and hit that join button if you want to join the channel and support it a little bit more than the average viewer. We do have full manipulations completed already here, well into Wave 2. Fantastic stuff. Crixie is obviously just, absolutely busted for these faction wars, so not entirely surprising that we'd be able to do this pretty easily. Obviously, if you ever need, you can just switch over to her form 2 as well. And then you can go ahead and essentially just, reset the cooldowns on everybody there too if you prefer. So, third wave might be a bit more challenging. But, I mean, the True Fears and then the buff removal and buff switch from the Embrace just make this so much easier. Crixia is fast enough that she can cycle through her turns without a problem as well. And then basically once we get those Necrosis stacks up, it's pretty much game over. As every time an enemy takes a turn, every time Embrace takes a turn, we're going to be doing so much damage to them based on that. So we have stage 5 to defeat 6+ enemies while they're under hexes. So this might be a bit more interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look and see who is capable of placing hex. If I can actually find hex, apparently I'm struggling to do so. Let's see here, right here. So we don't have too many people that can place it. We do have a Thylesia who has an AoE. Well, she has an AoE decreased defense. When she's attacking somebody under decreased defense, she has the chance to place it. She has an AoE, obviously, on her A2 as well. So could potentially do that. Thea, the Tomb Angel, has just straight up a hex on the A1, which is nothing too crazy. And then, obviously, you can also run, like, a curse set as well. And that might not be a bad way to go, but I think we'll actually try to bring in Thylesia here. So her, and then we'll just need to go ahead and make sure that she has some gear as well, because right now she has absolutely nothing. So we're going to go ahead and do, as always, hide set filters, priority stats. We're doing speed, accuracy, HP, and maybe a little bit of resistance there as well. We're going to get into the fitting room. It's so nice to actually be able to push through this while the free re-gear is on. It saves so much silver. So much silver indeed. Speed boots, perfect. So we got her at 237. A little low on the accuracy at 222, but I think that should be enough. So let's go ahead and throw her in here and see what we're capable of doing. Alright, so let's go ahead and just lock everybody out. That's going to make it a lot easier. Thylesia does obviously bring the decreased defense as well. So she's massively going to amplify the amount of damage that we can do. We'll just go ahead and ally protect here. Now we essentially just need to go in with Thylesia's A2 to try and get that get those hexes out there essentially. So let's see if we can do that. We're just going to keep pushing back the Ugo as much as we can. Thylesia, go ahead and get those hexes out there. We get hexes on one champion. One champion. Fantastic. Fantastic stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Let's go ahead and whack. We have to defeat 6 people while they're under hex. So, we don't even have decreased defense out there on most of them, which is fantastic. Thylesia, you're doing a really good job so far. I'm so happy I brought you in. is insanity, ladies and gentlemen. Insanity. At least she's sort of tanky, though. Go ahead and get that decreased defense out there again. Go ahead and boost up. We have like 1 hex placed. Yeah, so we had 1 hex kill there. This is insane. Holy moly. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're also going to put Thylesia into a hex set. Because then she's just going to have like a far larger chance to actually place it. Because what we were doing there just wasn't working. So curse set is what we'll put her in. And just try to maintain like a decent level of speed still with her. There we go. And then obviously like a decent amount of accuracy as well. Let's go ahead and do this. That should work fine. There we go. So she's in curse set. We don't have free gear removal anymore apparently. So I stand corrected on that front. Let's try that. So now when she's placing the AoE decreased defense, that should also have a good chance to place a hex as well, which is nice. So we'll see if we can't do that. Let's just go ahead and get the True Fear here. A1. Now let's go ahead and place this. We get the hex out there on 2 of them, at least, on 2 of them. So she can then A2 though as well. Where she'll obviously have the 50% chance to place it because of her passive. Let's do this. Okay, so we still have Hex out there on some of them. She gets stunned because why wouldn't she? Let's go ahead and Metamorph and reset. We have decreased defense up on everybody, so that's good at least. Let's go ahead and get that A2. We got a Hex placed out there on some of them. Let's go ahead and whack them down. We have 1 enemy defeated while under Hex. We have a Hex on the Revenant too. And we have a Hex over here. So that will give us 3 enemies defeated, which will be good. That should be 3 right there. And then we'll get 4 with the Revenant too. So that's perfect. Now we're on to the stage 3, or stage 2 I should say. So we have 2 defeated already. And then obviously she can come and just whack with like her AoE as well. Let's go ahead and just try to push back on the Maneater as much as we possibly can though. Obviously Eric's inside a Hex build will be very good for this as well. I really just don't want the buffs going up from the Maneater, but it's going to happen because this team is really annoying and they're resisting everything. And my Embrace doesn't have his strip available quite yet. We'll go ahead and wait on the reset there. I think we can do the strip with Crixia. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and whack with the Erics. Take some people out. There's 5 people defeated while under Hex. Go ahead and A1 here. Go ahead and get the res with the Crixia. A1, or with the Ancora, I mean. There we go. Let's go ahead and try this again. Decrease resistance, block buffs. Let's go ahead and get the True Fear into the A1. Let's go ahead and buff up with Ancora. Let's go ahead and get the AoE decreased defense here. We do get a Hex placed out there as well, so we can do this. We can do probably this, push her turn meter back. The block passives is really annoying there, but it kind of is what it is. We'll go ahead and whack, and that should be all 6 done. Yes, it is, which is perfect. We'll go ahead and walk out here again. Go ahead and get the A2. I'm just worried she's going to get clapped, and I really don't want that. So let's go ahead and do that. We get stuns there, which is perfect. A1. Really just need to make sure she doesn't take a turn, if we can help it at all. Decrease the turn meter there. Ally protection will go up. Let's go ahead and Metamorph. Just double check our conditions, but yes, we are good. Go ahead and swap HP, and then go ahead and wax. We get a weak hit there, because of course we do. We have ally protection as well as a shield on the Thylesia, though. I think we'll be okay, in all honesty. We'll go ahead and reset. Let's go ahead and A2. She gets her buff stolen, which is annoying, but, I mean, it is what it is. We'll go ahead and buff up here again. Buff up here, and let's just go ahead and whack with the Erics, and that is stage 5 down. We're on to stage 6, manipulate turn meters 40 plus times. That should be fairly easy as well. We'll get rid of you. If you don't have Crixia, one of the best ways to do this would of course be with like a Skull Crown. with the Evil Eye Mastery. Obviously, Ancora is a fusion. She has a turn meter fill on the A2. You also have, I think maybe Alatreon can do it. No, he cannot, unfortunately. But you should have one of those two options. If you don't, that's unfortunate, to say the least. We don't have one from Doom Priest either. I'm just trying to think. There should be some other options here. Tomb Lord has turn meter manipulation on his A3, so if you can get them below 50% HP, he'll manipulate things there a little bit. I'll actually go ahead and bring him in, I think. So there's definitely some very strong champions in this faction that can do it. I want to address something that was discussed in the comments of the last video as well. So somebody was in there saying, like with the Bannerlord crypt specifically, they're like, oh, well, you have Taurus, of course it's going to be easy. And I don't think it was wrong per se, so I'm not meaning to make fun of you with me, you know, doing that voice. But something I just want to make very clear is that this series right now is a showcase of how I go through this content, how I build teams to beat this content, how I'm searching for champions to beat this content. I'm not showcasing you free-to-play friendly teams, right? I'm not showcasing you teams that are going to work for your account. I'm simply showing you how I beat the content. If you happen to have some of these champions, that's perfect, that's fine, that's great, whatever. I am not doing a guide on these stages, right? At some point, I may end up doing that, but at this current stage in the game, that's not my intention with this series. So just something to consider there. Obviously, I know a lot of people are maybe hoping for something that might be a little bit more like, you know, specific to their account. But you know what? In that case, go ahead, hop into the Discord, right? I have plenty of people in the Discord that are very seasoned players. I'm in the Discord, obviously. If you need to get help with your account or help with pushing some of these stages, hop in there. We'd be more than happy to help. We'd be happy to have a new member as a part of the Discord as well. And, you know, if you're needing a clan or whatnot, I can see about getting you set up with my cluster there too. So certainly feel free to take part in that if that's something you're interested in. Now, obviously, we have almost clapped everybody here, which is pretty awesome. We have the turn meter manipulations done already. We're just going to go ahead and make sure everybody's locked out. Yeah, they're not getting any turns. We also have Necrosis stacked up, so this is going to be a pretty easy clear here on this wave. Go ahead and get the A1. And we're on to the final wave here. So we're going to go ahead and just A1 into the Elva, try to push our turn meter back, which we're able to do. Go ahead and get the True Fears into the extra turn, where we're going to go ahead and whack with the A3, so we decrease the turn meters. Embrace obviously is a master turn meter manipulator for this faction as well. The other thing to consider too is that Faction Wars Hard is very much end game content, not late game content, end game content, right? So you're not going to be getting through this with, you know, just whatever ragtag team that you can throw into it, especially if you're a newer player. It's going to take a lot of strategy. It's going to take a lot of running these stages over and over and over and over and over and over until you're sick of doing it, as you've seen throughout some of the last episodes. So that's something to consider, right? Our Tomb Lord might get clapped here, actually. Let's go ahead and do this. Into the extra turn. We'll go ahead and Metamorph. We'll go ahead and hit the A2, take some people out, get some Necrosis stacks up there. Boom. Now we just have the Torment left. Just double checking. Yes, we have met the requirements. We're going to go ahead and put it on auto here because why not? We almost whacked down the Torment with the Embrace, which would have been nice. But there we go. That is stage 6 done as well. So we're on to the boss the next time the Knights Revenant open up, which is pretty exciting stuff. We are also 1 star away from getting a skill tome, so that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at the boss here. We need to clear the stage in 100 turns. This particular boss has an AoE True Fear on the A1, which is annoying. He also has a revive, it looks like. Crit rate, crit damage. So ideally, block revive would be very strong. So somebody like a Beast Wrestler could be very strong for this. Yeah, anybody who can cycle through and just make sure that, you know, the ads aren't doing too much damage or anything like that. We're going to go ahead and throw Merciless Shield or something like that on Trunda here as well, just to try and get her some extra damage, because I pulled the shield off of her apparently. So She's not doing too hot. Hey, let's try this. That looks perfect. A little bit crit rate, a little bit of crit damage. Let's just go ahead, hop in here with this team, see if we're capable of beating it within the turn count. If not, we can always come through and run this again. It's not the biggest deal in the world, right? So we'll want to make sure that we kind of have some skills available for wave 2 as well. So let's just go ahead and A2 here with the Geo. Why not? Go ahead and A2 with the Trunda. Trunda definitely doesn't do as much damage on my account as you might see her doing on some other people's accounts. My Trunda's not got the best build. Like, she doesn't have incredibly good gear. She's not, you know, really high awakenings or anything like that. So it certainly does hurt her performance a little bit, but it is what it is, I suppose. Her A1's hit pretty strong, though, so that's nice. You know, you gotta take the wins where you can get them. I do need to take them down quick, though, because we're already 15 turns in, and we're not even through wave 1. So that's a bit crazy. We might have to just bring in more damage, essentially. Let's go ahead and do this, just to make sure we get through the wave. Geomancer's probably going to be very strong for going against the boss here, too, I would imagine. Go ahead and do this. Go ahead and provoke. And now we should be pretty much good to go. Trunda needs to get around to her skills, but she doesn't have them quite yet, unfortunately. Almost take out the Opardon there, which is very strong. Obviously, if we had a decreased defense champion, this would go a little bit better as well. Which we don't have, unfortunately. We're at 27 turns, though, and we're going to be through wave 2 soon enough, so 29 turns. You can actually run Rockbreaker inside some sort of like a provoke set, stun set, daze set, anything like that. And when he's doing his counterattacks against everybody, he'll have the chance to place it, obviously. So just something to consider there if you're struggling with CC from him. Let's go ahead and hit the Lysandra here to try and stun her, which we do, which is perfect. Go ahead and hit the A1 here with Geo. Go ahead and hit the A2 with Newt. I really just want to get these guys taken down as quick as possible, but it looks like we are struggling to do so, unfortunately. We had some turn meter boost there. We're going to go ahead and whack again with the Trunda. Now we're finally onto the boss, 41 turns in, so let's see if we can do this. He should be able to be turn meter controlled as well, I think. Let's see. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. Perfect. And we have a Zargala as well as a Rowan on the side, so that's a bit annoying. We'll put a decreased accuracy up there on them, hopefully. We'll hit him. We get a True Fear placed on everybody, which is super annoying. Obviously, we do have some champions from the faction that we can bring in for stronger support as well, if needed, but Senna does have an AoE revive. I really need the skills to proc here as well, even though we're under a True Fear, which is just obscene. We do get the burn there, as well as the decreased turn meter, so that's good. Let's go ahead and try for the revive. We do get it. Ally attack coming in. We're at 54 turns. We're starting to chunk them down with the Geo now, which is perfect. Our Rockbreaker does just keep getting clapped, though, so that's a bit unfortunate. Go ahead and try to get that decreased attack across the board there. Really hoping we survive here. Senna still does have a revive that we can depend on if needed. But it's not looking too pretty, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try for a stun here. A stun would be big. We do get the stun, so that's perfect. We get counterattack, though, which is annoying. And that is it. They clean us up. Okay, let's try this again. So, a few takeaways. Rockbreaker didn't do a whole lot inside that fight, so we might want to bring somebody a little bit more useful. He kind of just died at the end, right? Few options. I'm thinking we could bring Melga for more support. We could also bring Gala, because she can do a lot of damage as well, so we might try her. She'll help us essentially just cycle through the teams a little bit faster. She's built like god-awfully slow, though, which is the one thing to consider, but, you know, we'll give it a try. Let's hit the A1 here with Geo, and we'll hit the A2 with Trunda, who has that AoE CC anyways, so we don't really need this the skill from Rockbreaker for that. Of course, decent damage coming in from the Gala Longbraids here as well. And keep in mind, with this damage, she's not even built inside Savage, so obviously if she was built inside Savage, it'd be a lot better. But that being said, I think we'll go ahead and edit this already, and we'll bring in a Melga instead, just for some extra support, because we weren't really struggling too much for damage, especially once we got the burns up there from Geo. We were really just struggling with survivability. And if you can bring somebody that can do like cleanses or something like that, that would be super strong, obviously. But increased attack would obviously be great for this as well. Melga does, of course, bring the additional continuous heals, which can be activated by the Senna, which will give us turn meter fills, right? So something to consider there. Geo getting the skill off, so his A3 on the boss is going to be huge as well. So we'll try to make sure that we have that available. Melga can actually cleanse debuffs with her A1 as well. So if we do end up getting those True Fears, we can then go ahead and potentially cleanse those off with a counter attack or with a regular attack from Melga, which would be very strong. So we're now on to wave 2. 17 turns in. I think we're doing okay here. Really just trying to make sure that we have the enemy max HP skills and Geomancer's burn available for the next wave, though. Let's go ahead and just get those extra continuous heals up. We'll get the big nuke with the Trunda. We sit almost everybody down. Just need to make sure Pardon goes down. I think we'll turn meter cycle, or A1 cycle here now on these champions. It's really just the Lysandra and the Ursala left, which both of these should be fairly easy to take out. We have good DPS from this team too, so I think we're kind of off to the races here, which is nice. Newt's going to go ahead and freeze her here as well, which is perfect. Such a good champion. I didn't actually go for the fusion for Newt back in the day. I just got incredibly lucky and pulled him on a 10x, I think it was, a few months after the fusion. So we'll go ahead and buff up. We'll go ahead and... so he has a revive as well. Yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll just try and get the AoE decrease attack first, which we do land it, so that's perfect. We're also going to go ahead and get the burn on him. We're going to buff up with the Melga. We're then going to go ahead and A3 with the Trunda to try and get some CC on the side adds, which we do, which is absolutely perfect. We're also decreasing the hell out of his max HP. Gonna be honest, don't really know where that's coming from. Maybe it's something to do with if they're like CC'd or something like that. I don't think I have anybody that should be decreasing max HP, but it is what it is. I don't have any relics that would do it either, so it's probably something I'm missing inside his kit. Maybe. I don't know. Excuse that. My alarm just went off. I'm not sure if you're able to hear it or not, but turns out my laundry's good to pick up, so I'll be going to do that soon. Obviously, if you have like a higher level Great Hall in terms of like the area bonuses, especially for faction wars and whatnot, that's going to make this significantly easier as well. Not only just with like obviously resistances and stuff like that, but accuracy, HP, speed, ignore defense, all that sort of stuff that you'd want to bring into any sort of a team that's doing damage or something like that, right? So something to consider there. We do get the stun, which is perfect. Counterattack, which is a bit unfortunate, though Melga does then go in and counterattack. As long as everybody stays alive, we'll be clearing this without an issue because we're only at 53 turns. We're going to go ahead and burn him. Just make sure, yes, so clear the stage in 100 turns. We should be cooking here. We should be cooking. Get more heals going up, which will fill our turn meter more. And then as soon as Senna procs those, and there we go. Boss stage is done. We do get a rare glyph, a precision glyph, so that's accuracy. We'll go ahead and head to the next stage here. Place 15 plus HP burn debuffs. This should be pretty easy. We obviously have Trunda that can cycle through this, and then we have Geomancer. We've kind of talked about HP burns with Inside the Dwarves before. If you don't have those options, then you do have Gronjar here. I don't know why you'd be building him, but, you know, worst case scenario. And then, of course, you do have Bulwark. So those would be other options as well. But I think at this point, a lot of players are going to have Geomancer. If you don't have Geomancer, then you're going to really be looking to Trunda. And if you don't have Trunda, well, enjoy the RNG runs using the other champions, I suppose. Let me know how it goes down below. Though Gronjar could be a fairly decent option for this, because obviously he has, I think it's just a placement of it, right? On like a 4-turn or something like that. He's not a good champion by any means, but you may have to build him out for this if you don't have other options, right? Like, that's the other thing to consider too, is you're gonna just have to build more champions. It's very much like when we first had City of Centranos come out. Your account, more likely than not, is not going to have all the champions you need to beat the content, so you're going to have to build new champions. You're going to have to invest in those champions. It's going to be a shit show, right? So a lot of players, I'm sure, are discovering that kind of the hard way right now, which is, you know, it is what it is. You'll hear about it in the comments a lot as a content creator, but Yeah, we kind of knew that hard mode Faction Wars was coming for a couple of months, so it certainly gave people time to prepare, especially on their weaker factions, which, I mean, I can't really say much. I didn't prepare a whole lot on, you know, Ogren tribes, and we can obviously see how that went. When I was actually looking through it, I thought High Elves were going to be one of my weakest factions, so I went ahead and tried to build out some champions there just to make sure I had a good roster, and it seems to be, you know, doing all right so far. High Elves certainly aren't too much of a struggle point for me now, so, you know, mission successful, I guess. Go ahead and just A1 here. We already have 5 burns placed, so once we get to the next wave and we do the AoE with Trunda, we should be pretty much good to go. Just need to essentially wait to get through this wave, which is annoying. Go ahead and steal the buffs here. The burn should tick him down, which will be perfect. Take out the Man-Eater. We're then also going to blast into the Siege Hulk. I remember when I first started the game, I really wanted Siege Hulk, as he's one of like 3 counterattack champions in the game at that point, the only epic counterattack champion inside the entire game. And there's that one rare champion that looks a lot like Siege Hulk, so whenever I would pull that rare champion, I'd get excited for a minute, thinking I might have just pulled Siege Hulk, and then every time I'd be disappointed because I didn't pull Siege Hulk. Which is kind of funny. The good times, good times. Let's go ahead and just whack down Man-Eater. Don't want him doing any annoying BS with his block debuffs and unkillable and all that sort of garbage. Let's see if we can get a stun here on the Siege Hulk. We'll just kill him. The best CC is death, right? So, you know, it is what it is. We do need to make sure that we place some extra burns here. So we only have 8 of them placed so far. I think we'll try to let Ugo get her revive here, honestly, so that we can try to bring back some more of the enemies, get some more burns placed on them as well. There we go. She gets her block damage placed. So we're going to go ahead and A2 here just because I don't want to decrease her turn meter. And there's the revive. We're going to go ahead and turn meter fill. We're going to go ahead and buff up. We're going to go ahead and try to take out Man-Eater, which we do, so that's perfect. We're going to steal his turn meter, place a burn. We're now at 9 burns placed. Go ahead and try to decrease turn meter here, which we're able to do. Go ahead and attack here. Do this. We do have to be careful. Ugo's going to bring in a nice little AoE decrease defense next turn. We'll get the AoE though. A couple more burns placed. We're now at 11 placed. We'll go ahead and just start A1 cycling, just to try to make sure that everybody has their skills available for the next wave, especially Trunda, because we still need to place 4 burns, right? So and she is Spirit Affinity, so we'll have to be careful of the affinity matchups as well. Obviously, we could just A1 cycle with her and then try to, you know, get it done that way. But, so yeah, she should be able to place burns against everybody here. So we're just going to go ahead and A1 in here. Get that turn meter reduction, baby. Let's go ahead and get an HP burn here, as well as some turn meter depletion. Go ahead and buff up. We need to place 3 more. Trunda's not even close to having her skill set already. Try to get a stun here, which we don't get, unfortunately. We do get a decreased cooldown, though, which might have been enough to reset the Trunda. Let's go ahead and do this. Decrease accuracy on everybody. We'll go ahead and do this. Try to push back as well. Get rid of some of that turn meter would be quite nice. Not really too worried about anybody else taking a turn, but here we go. Is that enough burns? Yes, it is. We have now completed what we need to on this stage as well, so now we can just go ahead and just absolutely blast everybody into the ground here, which is always a good feeling. This is like my favorite part of every Faction Wars run, is just when you get to that stage where you can blast everybody and just let loose with your skills. There we go. Stage 8 is cleared. Now stage 9 is to place 15 plus stun debuffs. Now there's not really too many people inside the faction just straight up place stuns, so obviously one of the most notable examples, go figure, is going to be Trunda, right? So Trunda's fantastic. We do also have Hatchet Slinger, who can place it on his A1, so he has a 20-30% chance of placing a stun if he has less than 50% HP. Might as well not even worry about that being placed. It's so conditional, right? And then we have a 20% chance of a stun on Beast Wrestler, so he's essentially just, you know, a stun set built in. Bring somebody in AoE if you don't have somebody else that can do the stun. I'm lucky enough to have Trunda. Trunda should be able to get this done pretty easily with her A3 cycling. So as long as I keep the cooldowns under check, I think we should be good to go. Really, the only thing that would make my dwarf team like even more insane is if I just had like some sort of like actual cooldown increasing or something like that. Then it would pretty much be all over. We get 2 stuns placed off the start. I can already tell that this is going to be a bit of an RNG fest. And then, yeah, apparently we don't have the free re-gear. So, we may have to run our Rock Breaker inside a stun set as well. Though, that is going to be a bit more questionable. So, here's the thing. We've been recording for 30 minutes now. This is just becoming a recurring theme with the channel. This is the last stage for the day, right? Once we beat this, it's over. We're done the dwarves. I will go ahead and beat this off camera so as to not waste everybody's time, just because the stun stages are very much RNG based. I'll go ahead and post that screenshot shortly after this video goes live on my YouTube community, on the YouTube posts section. You guys can go ahead and check it out. That being said, thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to let me know down below how the hard faction wars is going for you so far, and I'll see you guys next time.